Welcome to a beautiful day here in Surprise, Arizona with a Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series powered by Geico Power Sports. Ken Stout, Cameron Steele ready to call all the action for you here. Round number 3. This is the MagnaFlow Exhaust Off-Road Nationals. The track, we saw it last year, produced some great results, but it's much different out here today.
It definitely is.
In Pro Light, hats off to Matt Loyadice. He had a career best finish as he finished second, but now we find out he actually picked up his first win.
A bummer to not get the win while the television is there and the accolades, the interviews, but he does get his first win after a technical infraction by Rodrigo Ampudia. So Loyadice also qualifying in the top 4 here as well. It should be a great race. Marty Hart, Brian Deegan, right now the class of the field in qualifying for Pro Light.
And Chris Brandt at the bottom of the field. We'll find out how that develops. All right, here we go. Pro Lights lined up on the track. There's a good overhead shot from our helicopter, and that's the rhythm section right there you were speaking of. It is violent, man. You get up on top of it, the truck just kind of wants to dance left or right. It's really not even on the ground.
One thing that's really tough with that is we take a look at our KMC Wheels starting grid. Casey Currie on the pole, but it was an inverted field, 3 rows inverted. Marty Hart, Brian Deegan, your fastest drivers will be coming from row number 3. But what we're talking about in that minefield of a whoop section, you gotta carry the speed as fast as you can to keep from dropping into them. It's very hard to stop for the next turn, which is turn number 4.
By the way, on the inside of row 6, great to have John Marking back out here. Chris Brandt, you can see at the back of the field, he actually had engine issues, so he had to dump to the back of the field because of that, as he did not qualify. And of course, back to John Marking, he had a very scary accident a few years ago. We thought his racing career was over, but it's great to have him back out here in a Pro Light truck. By the way, his accident was in a Pro 4 truck. Green flag flies. We are racing here at Surprise.
And big nose up there in the front for Casey Currie with a great jump in the number 2 Monster Energy Currie Enterprises truck. Gets a great start. Jimmy Stevenson in the all-white Yokohama-sponsored truck there in second. And some of the fastest cars in the class, Ampudia, Hart, and Deegan, right there in the 4 to 6 position right now as they sort themselves out. A clean start for the class, though, which is always a good thing as we get some good racing. Whoa! And you can see the little trucks drifting around. Now we call them little because these, oh! Loyadice right out of the gate.
Looks, oh, and he just stacks everybody up in there. Let's go on board with him. Boy, great onboard shot there, courtesy of GoPro. Everything's okay with the truck. Puts it back in gear, and of course stacks him up in there a little bit. No fault of his own. He's much, I guarantee he's hoping, I don't want to do that. So it's just the way it goes, but it looks like everybody's okay.
And Loyadice, our winner at the last round, and this is Brian Deegan, our champion from last year. Let's go down to Rob Klepper, the 3rd member of our announcing team, with an update on Deegan.
And guys, the 38 of Brian Deegan, your defending Pro Light champion out on the racetrack, trying to turn his year around after a 3rd and a 10th at Vegas. I spoke with Danny Everts, his team manager, asked him if they made any changes on the truck because they picked up a 2nd between practice yesterday and practice this morning. He said they did change a few things on the truck. He wouldn't tell me what, but he did tell me that Brian got a great night of sleep over the night, and they are ready to rock here today in Surprise.
Right on, Rob. Well, I can definitely tell you a few changes that have been made. Deegan has switched to Maxxis tires for this year, and also just recently has parted ways with his teammate Todd Cafaro. So Deegan is now a 1-truck effort coming out of the Militia Rockstar Semi, and that might change a little bit of the way the team works together. Danny Everts now taking over as the team manager.
And Everts, of course, out here in a Pro 2 a year ago, has some experience there. Also, a lot of experience inside of a sprint car, so it's always great to have another set of seasoned eyes watching your vehicle.
Definitely, and speaking of seasoned eyes, Marty Hart here in the number 15, just ahead of Rodrigo Ampudia. They've both gotten by Jimmy Stevenson, and here's a battle for the lead. Brian Deegan in the number 38 truck there in 2nd place, trying to get by somewhat of his nemesis, Casey Currie. These guys haven't always gotten along on the track.
Here we come through the rhythm section. Very, very small steering inputs when you're going over this rhythm section. And you can see Deegan just kind of dancing through there, taking a look on the bottom side, lets it slide up. That is a perfect move right there as he takes the line away from Casey.
Stealing the line is something you get accustomed to in motocross, and Brian Deegan, a Supercross winner. And let us also not forget a 10-time X Games medalist if maybe you've been living under a rock out there.
Yeah, it looked like one of those moves he probably used in Supercross as well. So Brian Deegan on top of the field. There's your Canada All Natural Pet Foods Top 5. We're back at Surprise, Arizona. This is the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series, powered by Geico Power Sports. You're watching the MagnaFlow Exhaust Duel in the desert. Pro Light Division, and Deegan is checking out on him, man.
And also, Casey Currie has been passed by Marty Hart in the Stronghold Motorsports Ready Lift truck. That's the yellow truck coming at you. Casey Currie, the number 2 there, sitting and saying, oh, and Hart arcs it way off the track. He has to go around.
That is the wrong way on the front straightaway.
I don't know how the officials are going to like that.
I do. I bet a black flag comes sailing out for him. That is a tough move. I mean, he just got kicked the wrong way off that jump. Really didn't have much control over it after he did that, but it's all about lining that truck up, right?
That's right, and you got to reel it back in, and that's a big safety concern. We'll see if that black flag comes out. And this is Casey Currie again. Now, Rodrigo Ampudia in the number 36 truck. He hails from Ensenada, Mexico. A great desert racer, but has really, and there's the black flag. You called it, Ken. Marty Hart's going to have to do a stop and go in the hot pits, and here goes Ampudia for second.
Dude, that was right in front of Tony Vanello. There's no way you get away with that one. Going the wrong way on the front straightaway is just not good for anybody.
Hey guys, I know we talked about Rodrigo Ampudia on the top of the show. We thought was the winner in Vegas. Post-race tech saw that the wheelbase was too short. He's going to be running 2 classes here this week in Pro Light and Pro 2. He's a little upset about what happened in Vegas, but he says his truck is very fast. Here's a surprise. He loves this racetrack, a very high-speed, very technical course. Certainly suits his driving style.
Well, as we hear that technical infraction that he had, we go back to last year. Of course, Chris Brandt's wheelbase was a little too long. It cost him a championship. But in talking to Rodrigo, his interpretation as we watch Marty Hart pull in for a stop and go, his interpretation, man, Aaron Daugherty goes for a big ride with the Racing Dirty truck.
Wow.
Also, the 92 truck looks like he might have had something to do with it as well. That's Jacob Pearson.
Oh, they get together over that center tabletop coming out of turn number 4, and wow, multiple rollovers.
Person going backwards over there. Looks like his truck is okay, but boy, Aaron went for a violent ride. That'll bring out the red flag.
Red flag, all racing action stops, and we will restart the race. That's explanation.
As we watch the guys pull over there to where they will be stopping, there's a good look at Rodrigo Ampudia, who has 5 wins inside of this category. My good friend Cameron Steele sat down with him earlier today.
Rodrigo, you're taking the Papa Some Beer Lucas Oil number 36 into 2 classes this weekend, double representing. How tough is that to go from 4-cylinder to 8-cylinder on the same weekend?
It's fine, I love it. I wish I could go from 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive also, but we're here, we're representing all the way from Ensenada, and we're happy to be here and ready to rock.
Let's talk about your kind of vibe on the track, because there's some people that you race against that just, I wouldn't say they don't like Rodrigo Ampudia, but they're a little afraid to be around you. When you're in the truck, you see the line and you say, I'm just going there. You're not thinking, I'm gonna ram this guy, I'm gonna run anybody. You just see the open air.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a space, I'm gonna go for it, and if we're both shooting for the same spot, we're just gonna see who lifts off, and if not, we're just gonna hit a little bit. I mean, I'm not here to take anyone out. I try to race as clean as I can, but when it comes down to it, you know, we're all going for the same podium.
It is a war out there at all times. Well, best of luck this weekend. We'll see how it works out, but most of all, make some fun for us to watch.
But yeah, definitely. Thanks, Cameron, and I'll see you out there.
All right, brother.
That is one thing he does. He makes it fun to watch, and he definitely has some speed. We'll be back with more racing action. Stay with us with the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series. Arizona at Speed World Off-Road Park, about to restart the Pro Light Division with the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series. This is the MagnaFlow Exhaust Duel at the desert. The General, Brian Deegan, leads them around. Casey Currie in second place, as Rodrigo did not take over the spot apparently for a full lap to be granted the position.
Well, when they get the red flag, they go back to the scoring on the end of the last lap. So Rodrigo's going to have to do work again on Casey Currie. And Jimmy Stevenson there in the white truck, he's in 4th. And then Adam Wick out of Las Vegas, Nevada, is running in the 5th position in that all yellow with the blue stripe truck. So a couple of guys that haven't been on the podium this year trying to make work and get up there.
Adam Wick really showed well. I mean, he has some good speed when we were in Las Vegas, so he is coming up through the field. Of course, had some experience last year as well. A talented engine builder, Casey Currie, hanging onto the spot right now.
And Casey You need to know that this is a borrowed race truck for Casey. This isn't the truck that he's used to racing. His truck is in development right now, so this is something he's been working with, trying to make work for his team, and they've been doing a great job. As Adam Wick looks like he's leaning on Jimmy Stevenson a little bit there, and I'll just say this, Jimmy Stevenson isn't afraid to lean on a few people if he needs to.
No, absolutely not. He will rub fenders with you and be glad to do so. And again, Jimmy Stevenson showing some real good speed this year as well.
Jimmy has been looking great, and right now he's battling for that podium position. Look at this, he's got to run to the inside of Ampudia. Can he make it work? And he uses Ampudia as the berm a little bit.
And that's really what you got to do. I mean, you got to pitch it in there. You don't want to give up your momentum. If there's somebody out there, you use them. Here comes Adam Wick trying to make it 3 wide, but I think Stevenson's going to make it stick right here, and Adam Wick takes a spot away as well. Over rotation by Stevenson. It cost both of them. And that's his Stevenson with front end damage. Looked like that right front was laid over a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like damage that will finish Stevenson's day, sitting in a dangerous spot as these trucks air out. Now, both drivers running great, looking to get to the front, but you know, you got to keep it clean as well. Let's take a look back, and it looks like Jimmy Stevenson starts to break traction. He got up in the fluff there a little bit, contact with Wick, so Wick just an innocent bystander there, but it breaks the front of Jimmy's truck.
Now Adam Wick just compounds the problem, stands on the throttle, pulls right back out into the racing line. Reno Navarra has absolutely nowhere to go, and he takes him out. So that was really a poor decision on Adam's part in the back half of that wreck, who I'm sure was very frustrated with what happened, but still, you had to keep your composure and not pull back out there and ruin somebody else's day. There is your Canada top 5. Deegan still leads them. We've got everybody lined back up now, though, here in Surprise, Arizona for the MagnaFlow exhaust. Duel in the desert. On board right there with Matt Loyadis, and that courtesy of Mastercraft Safety, currently sitting in 6th place. That was after he rolled the truck on the very first lap.
So making the move back towards the front of the pack. You might ask yourself, why is there so much chaos here? Well, they need to carry momentum. They're only 4-cylinder engines. And look at Casey. Casey Currie, the 2nd place truck, leaning on Deegan as they go to the restart. Deegan's truck has been fast, I'll tell you that. And right now, someone we really got to pay attention to is Marty Hart, who just after a black flag is coming right up to do battle with Ampudia for 3rd position. Not only battle, but battle bots, so to speak.
You know, you were talking to Rodrigo about doing some of that. I'll tell you, Marty Hart really hit him hard. Hats off to Rodrigo for hanging on to that thing. I will tell you, man, Rodrigo will get it back.
A nice onboard shot there, courtesy of Lucas Oil and GoPro cameras. And you can see Hart using that top line, and a whole field of trucks also still in the battle. And we'll see if Hart can find a way around Ampudia using different lines. So you see how he drifted a little farther outside trying to carry momentum. Ampudia wedged it a little more, but Ampudia faster in that section. And this turn number 6 is always a tricky spot to carry speed. And here comes Chris Brandt.
Chris Brandt from dead last in the field, now working his way up into the top 5. No doubt always a tough competitor, keeping his composure, up there with the fast guys now to get a little bit tougher.
And Brandt running for Lucas Oil and Hart and Huntington. Kerry Hart, part of his team, who races in the Pro 2 category. Oh, I love the helicopter shots. You get a great view of who's throwing the truck when. And right there you saw Ampudia throw the truck, get a little bit more slideways, as I like to call it. And Marty Hart makes the run down the outside. Hart in the fast line, but Casey Currie slows down in front of him. Wow.
Casey Currie really checked up Marty Hart. That opened up the door for Rodrigo.
Look at the move.
By both of them. Here comes Marty back down on the bottom. Says, no way, man. I'm not giving it up that easy.
Straight across both lines is Hart and just steals the position. Rodrigo with a good run here, though. I don't know if Hart's going to be able to make it stick.
Great racing here in the Pro Light Division. Round 3.
And Hart getting way out in the fluff. At the end of turn number 6, that is going to cost you because they don't have a lot of horsepower. The fluff or the thicker, loose dirt will pull down the power on the truck.
Again, Chris Brandt sitting right there, as is Matt Loyadis, and Brandt now takes a look at the inside of Casey Currie.
And we talked about at the beginning of the show, tire combinations. Now, Casey may have had a better tire for wet conditions, and Hart having trouble with that very same jump again. I think what he's doing is carrying a lot of speed out of that turn number 3.
Yeah.
That's right, and it's drifting him out just before he gets to the whoops, but he is definitely putting pressure on Ampudia. And I was not just pressure, but contact.
He's just driving it in so much harder, so much deeper than Rodrigo is, and that's where he's making ground up on him. And I guarantee you didn't think Rodrigo was going to check up that quickly.
Let's see. You see Rodrigo out to the edge of the fluff.
Chris Brandt gets a little love, right?
Chris Brandt with a little touch and go there on Hart, but Hart still with a great run.
Oh, maybe problems with Rodrigo there.
Tough break.
Chris Brandt making a good run, but look at the horsepower in Marty Hart's truck. He just went sailing by Rodrigo on the straightaway.
It could have been a missed shift by Rodrigo, or something else may have came up there. Rodrigo would normally never give up a position like that. He is a full-time battler.
Great onboard there with Loors. You can see the inline shifter that he has there. Just forward, drops a gear, pulling it back, picks up a gear.
And Brandt, the 82 there, trying to get around Ampudia. Ampudia in the red, white, and black truck here goes to the outside, and here comes Brandt down to the inside. You'll remember, Brandt would have been the champion last year if it wasn't for a technical infraction.
And that was because his wheelbase was too long. Rodrigo lost the previous round after we thought he had won it based on wheelbase. His was too short. His interpretation of the rule book is you have a working inch according to the rule book. He thought it meant an inch either way. It actually means a working inch, basically a half an inch either way, and it cost him a win and a lot of points.
Wow. Lots of great racing. Ampudia right up on the edge. Now you can see the track is really going to start to dry out. And this is where it comes to the drivers that have chose a tire that's better for a blue groove or a hard concrete-like surface. It's going to get slippery in a different way now as Brandt looking to the outside. Now he's right up on the edge of the fluff, and even a stop and go there as he got to the top of the corner.
Oh! Scary situation right there.
And Loors might be the benefactor here as he goes to the inside of both trucks. Ooh, big roost in Ampudia's face.
I got to tell you, as we watch Loors again, hats off to Chris Brandt right there. That was an amazing save, and he ultimately hung on to the position. The white flag is out. Chris Brandt trying to fill out this podium here, and it looks like Loors might take it away from him now.
And the number 20 truck, you can see him dragging a fender. And here comes Ampudia down to the inside of Brandt. Once again, he is not giving up the position.
And you know that's,
big fire.
Major fire right there. That is huge for the 92 of Jacob Person. Person getting out of the truck is going to be okay, but a scary thing there because, you know, all the guys are racing around that turn. Safety crew right out there to protect him in that truck.
Another look back. Wow, just burst into flames. Maybe a transmission line or a converter blowing up.
Well, as quickly as it went up, it came back out. Good news is he's okay. They can always fix the truck.
And we talked about a number of times the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series safety crew right on point once again.
Your Canada All Natural Pet Foods Top 5. Can anybody catch Deegan? We're back here for the final laps of the Pro Light Division. You're watching the MagnaFlow Exhaust Duel in the Desert with the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series powered by Geico Power Sports.
They're going to go green, white checkers, so 2 laps here. Deegan is going to have to fend off Marty Hart, who is a great restarter, but I got to give it to Deegan. He has been doing a great job on the restarts, even though he is a newer racer to trucks. And look at Hart with the run, trying to go down the inside.
Deegan with a fast truck today, but I'll tell you, Marty's got to worry about Loors, who's right behind him. And Kelly Snyder, you got a little more on Brian Deegan, who was struggling with health issues yesterday.
What a day for Brian Deegan. Coming into practice yesterday, he said he had some sort of food poisoning. He couldn't hold anything down, felt super sick. The officials warned him not to go out as he only has 1 kidney. He was dehydrated. He didn't feel good. He ended up going out to qualify, qualified second. He's out here leading the race right now. He said he feels a lot better, and he's really looking forward to taking home a win.
Well, I guarantee he wasn't too worried about it. It's just the way he is. I mean, after having a set of handlebars run through your body and you continue on, he's not going to worry about that.
Yeah, it's You're not going to tell the militia general to sit down and not race. It's really not going to happen unless it's a life or death situation. And Brian doing a great job. He's going to come around here turn 6 as we got a battle for 3rd place in the last corner. It's going to be one more lap as the white comes out.
One more try at this final lap here. And Marty Hart's going to get some company. Loyalties, keep in mind, man, he'd like to get even right here. See if he can pick up one more spot. Loyalties with a great run on the inside. Oh, and he gets up on the bike as he hooks a rut.
And Loyalties in that number 20 Mastercraft truck, he has really built some newfound confidence. Yes, he ran great before, but now he is running like someone that should be on the podium, not like someone who wants to get on the podium. And here comes Brandt down the inside, trying to take that very spot. Loyalties gives him some room, which is a bummer because it got out into the soft stuff for the number 20 truck, but the line works for him. He's going to steal it back, a little bump and run.
Rough driving out there, and Chris Brandt with a strong run back up through the field after starting dead last. Of course, purchased some great trucks from the winningest driver in the history of the class. But Brian Deegan will pick up the win right here. What was that, man? A little tank slapper going on when he was in the middle of the air having some fun, huh?
It looked like the front wheel might be loose or something. The right front looked a little strange to me, but nonetheless, Deegan with the checkers bringing it home for the Rockstar Energy Drink Lucas Oil Metal Militia team. It's got to be fired up with that after a little bit of a tough start as we look at our Rockstar Energy Pro Light Unlimited results.
Marty Hart in 2nd, Loyalties 3rd. Chris Brandt hangs on to 4th place. There's a look at the rest of the field. Guys having some good runs out here today. Nobody had anything for the Rockstar Energy Drink back machine here, though. Deegan showing why he is the reigning champ. Here is your E3 Spark Plugs race recap. Let's go back to the start of this race.
And Casey Currie with a great jump. Jimmy Stevenson was in the mix, but it was Loyalties up and over. But he would come back to finish up a great race. Brian Deegan making a quick move past Casey Currie as he stole his line.
Aaron Daugherty goes for a violent ride, but is okay. And then we see Marty Hart pick up 2 spots in 1 turn as he raced hard. Chris Brandt with the best save of the race, without a doubt. But Brian Deegan, the man out here today, as he picks up the win in round number 3. Here's a look at your MagnaFlow exhaust point standings.
Brandt on top of the points over Loyalties, and Deegan making a run in 3rd. And speaking of Deegan, Kelly Snyder is down with him in the winner's circle. Let's find out what he has to say.
Brian Deegan, we spoke earlier. You told me you'd see me out here on this podium. Take us through this great race.
Well, let me tell you. Actually, that was bad. That was the sick race. Honestly, I came out, got to the lead quick, and was like, you're going to win this race no matter what. And they kept throwing these funky yellows and red flags. I seen carnage everywhere. And I'm like, dang, man, I just had to keep pulling that gap out. So it was good. That's how it's done. Now I know I can race that much faster, so that's what's up.
Finding a little more speed as he gains more and more experience. Well, we'll continue partying like rock stars when we come back. Welcome to Surprise, Arizona. We're going to bring you a lot of action here, courtesy of the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series. It is the MagnaFlow exhaust, dual in the desert. Round number 4, and it's powered by Geico Power Sports. Let's check in with the first of our 2 pit reporters and Rob Klepper.
And guys, catching up with Casey Currie. We did see you last time here at Surprise in round 3, battle with Brian Deegan, your old nemesis. I know you don't like running side by side with that guy, but how's the truck here today?
You know, we were struggling a little bit yesterday, but my guys worked all night, and we made a lot of changes, and I think we made a lot of good changes. So we're going to do anything we can to be in front. And there's one guy I definitely don't want to win or be up top, and that's the number 38 truck. And we're going to do whatever we can to make sure that truck is not up front.
Well, I know you're renting a ride here this weekend. Are we going to see this ride all season long? Because I know you want to chase points.
Yeah, you know, I think we're going to go home and start on something new. We got some new ideas. We got a great motor package on the way, and we want to come and be up front all year.
That's Casey Currie, guys, in the Monster Energy and MagnaFlow. And number 2, going to be fun to watch here today.
Welcome back to the Duel in the Desert. We're at Speed World Off-Road Park in Surprise, Arizona. It's the MagnaFlow Exhaust Duel in the Desert with the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series powered by Geico Power Sports. Our team in the pits are ready to go to work. Hit it, guys.
And guys, how about Matt Lloyd? He's very happy to be on the podium back in Las Vegas. Last year getting a lot of laps in Pro Lights. This year going for podiums. We go back to round number 3. He flipped, raced his way back up to 3rd. This kid is getting better and better every single race.
Earlier in the pits, I caught up with Marty Hart, longtime Pro Light veteran. He had some technical difficulties in round number 3, but he was able to pull off a second place finish. Coming into round number 4, he qualified first. He said he feels fast and he's ready to go.
Marty Hart, who's been racing his entire life, but here in the Pro Light division, has 7 career wins. As we take a look at the number 36 Papas and Beers Lucas Oil truck. Of course, that is a Ford power plant inside of that one. Rodrigo Ampudia behind the wheel. Right behind him, Casey Currie. Should always be exciting.
Yeah, stacked up Murderers Row. You can see a few of them going around this whoop field. It's so tough to go through there. As we take a look at the KMC Wheels starting grid, you go through there slow and just beat your teeth out. Adam Wick on the inside, bringing him down to the green flag. Matt Loadis on the outside. Deegan right behind him. A lot of great talent, as we just mentioned.
Deegan and Chris Brandt sitting side by side in row 2. That will be fun to watch. Jimmy Stevenson and Casey Currie. Also good. John Marking a little deeper in the field. Great to have him back out here. Stefan Papadakis, of course, coming out of the drifting world, has been out here all season long. We wish him the best of luck as well. Here we go. Green flag, baby. Round 4, Pro Light.
Oh, and it looks like Adam Wick in the yellow truck, who was on the pole, got punked by a couple guys. They didn't think he got on the gas soon enough. And Loadis goes to the front. Looks like Deegan also gets by. Deegan going to the inside. Very slippery right now. Remember, the track is groomed and watered now. It's going to break down a little bit. We're going to get ruts developing where they're not going to be able to slide all over the track. But right now, you can see Deegan able to go to the outside there as we go back inside the truck with the Rockstar Energy Drink onboard camera.
Smart move by Brian as well. You saw him check up there a little bit as Matt let it wash to the outside. Matt doing what he needed to do, though. I mean, you take the line away, pull a tear off. That's what happens when you're in second place. You eat a little bit of mud.
Yeah, you eat the roost. Not a lot of fun. Not only is it a sight hindrance, but it's also painful to take the rocks into the chest, the hands, the arms, as we see Ampudia go up on that berm just a bit as we go on board with the Ready Lift onboard camera on Marty Hart.
Just listening in there, I thought maybe the engine was down a cylinder there, but obviously, as you can see, he's going down the straightaway there. Plenty of power as he stays out in front of the MAV TV sponsor, Chris Brandt. Of course, Chris Brandt just missing the championship last year on a technicality, so is racing on a mission here this season.
To say the very least, I mean, being DQ'd, so to speak, and losing a championship is just something that you just want to prove all year long that you're ready to rock. As you take a look there, the number 82 MAV TV Hart and Huntington machine, and Deegan looking to the inside. That's Loadis, the number 20, Deegan in the 38, and then right behind them, Rodrigo Ampudia and Marty Hart, the Murderers Row, so to speak, right on Loadis' back bumper.
Looking out of the back of Rodrigo's truck, of course. And yeah, you called it. I mean, it's the best of the class. I mean, it's the cream of the crop up here. And, well, Rodrigo rolling right up on the back bumper of that guy. Good hang time.
And one thing you'll notice there, if you're not familiar with off-road racing, they're not holding the throttle wide open in the air to build RPMs. If you do that, you'll land and rip your drivetrain out of your truck. It might make it a few times, but it wouldn't last the entire race. So you have to manage your equipment, and that was a really good shot of Deegan, how he lets off the throttle. You want to land with your tires going the same speed that the truck is and accelerate out of it as they jump into the whoops one more time.
Yeah, there's a difference of staying in the throttle. Oh, and Deegan tries it one more time because Matt's been leaving the bottom open, but Matt's taking the fastest way around that turn. But Deegan wants to get in his head, so if he keeps driving up beside him, he's hoping that Matt will make a mistake, and so far, Matt has not.
Well, the other thing you got to think about with Brian Deegan, he's a former Supercross racer, so he's accustomed to looking at different lines, as is any type of racer. But the aggression comes to the front. He knows, and his spotter's telling him, hey, you got Ampudia and Hart right behind you. You're clear 2 to Ampudia. So he knows Ampudia's right there. So Deegan's trying to make that move to get by to give himself some breathing room.
Rodrigo, who was leaning on Deegan before, suddenly had to protect his line as Marty Hart rolled up on him. Right behind him is Chris Brandt. I mean, it is the who's who of the class here in the top 5 right now.
And it's very cool to see Matt Lodes, who is leading. Oh, we see a little bit of flame, a little puff of smoke on the number 15. Oh, and he's pulling off. Marty Hart has a problem.
Oh, and a fire now to add to it looks like.
He's trying to, it looks like he's trying to unhook. Looks like he's going for the wires inside the helmet, possibly. Now here goes the belt release, pull down the net. And he's not getting out real fast. His spotter's probably telling him the fire's out. Looks like he's pulled the pin on the flame out, but hasn't released it. He's getting it ready in case he needs to pull it.
I agree with that. That big black flat, by the way, is to keep some of the shrapnel rocks from the roost in front of him from hitting him in the throat and in the neck. That's why they wear that. So that will bring out a red flag for safety precautions. We'll show you our General Tire top 5, and we'll be right back. Stay with us. To the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series, we're in the middle of the Pro Light division here. Of course, this series powered by Geico Power Sports. This is the MagnaFlow exhaust dual in the desert. Here's the restart. Good run right there.
Yeah, Lodice had the lead. Deegan making the move, a great run. Deegan has been phenomenal on his restarts, both when leading and giving chase, and he makes that one work, and he goes to the lead.
Boy, D's doing a great job. Talk about him picking up his first win, his first career win earlier in Vegas.
A great job, but he just got punked for the lead.
Yeah.
I don't want to call you out on that too much, but
the reason he got it is because the guy that punked him lost on a technicality, so it fell back to Matt. So Matt would love to win one straight up.
And the guy that lost on the technicality still charging in the number 82, the blue and black machine there. That's Chris Brandt trying to do work as we look back at him from the Superlight onboard camera from Rodrigo Ampudia.
Chris closing the gap there just a little different line, and that long left-hand sweeper. And Rob, we hear there's troubles with the number 2 truck.
And guys, we see Casey Currie here in the hot pits. As he came in, he was working on the steering to tell his crew he is having trouble with the steering. They're gonna try and get the hood off and check and see what the issue is. Remember, we talked to Currie pre-race, and he said he's gonna probably start his own team to chase points for the rest of the year. He's pointing underneath the hood to tell the crew to look as he is having trouble with the steering. But again, just a tough break for Casey Currie in truck number 2.
And thanks, Rob, but right now Ampudia, oh!
Good save. Cost him a couple of spots there, but a great save.
Now these trucks, Ken, a lot of times we talk about they get on the bicycle. What's going on is earlier in the race, the track was groomed and all flat and nice. Now it's developing ruts. When drivers try to slide it through different sections, they catch an edge, maybe find a little bit of soft dirt, brings the truck up on the bike, which we just saw happen to Rodrigo Ampudia. These trucks are narrow. They don't have a ton of horsepower, so these guys really want to drive them super hard into the corners, try to carry as much momentum and speed as they can, and that leads to the bicycle ride.
Well, as you know, I raced one of these a few years ago, and to make a save like that, you don't have time to think about it. You actually have to go through it a couple times. You might completely roll the truck, but eventually you get a feel for it, and it's an absolute reaction in order to save it. And Rodrigo reacted very quickly and was able to do exactly that.
And Brandt with a good run coming out of turns 2 and 3, carrying a lot of speed, and it looked like he had a faster line going in, but he's not able to make it work for him. Very difficult for the drivers. I can tell you from driving this course, coming through the whoop section, deciding when to brake and when to set up for that turn following those whoops. It's a tough section of the track, and there's been a lot of contact there as well.
I'm really impressed with Matt Loides. And we saw him a year ago, was getting faster and faster, and no question, that truck is good enough to win out here today. Now, there's also some very tough players out here that are going to make it difficult for him to do that, but he's showing that he can run with them, and more importantly, it's not 1 or 2 laps. He's running a whole bunch of laps now at speed.
And we see the number 23 Racing Dirty truck there. The background, that's Aaron Daugherty, and you'll remember we saw earlier in the show that last round he took a huge tumble. Big testament to the team to get the truck perfectly back together and out on the track. And that's Ampudia just in front of him, and Wick leading there just in front. No, more racing through the whoops. Brandt again with the run. This time he steals the line, comes all the way up in front, and gives a little brake check. to stop and fill the lineup, making Loors get on the binders.
Well, and he probably drove in a little bit too hot, right? He drove in way hot, realized he had to get on the binders, but once he had the position, he had the luxury of doing that. That, of course, gave him a chance to regroup the truck, get through the right-hander, and away he goes.
So you're saying that the 82 didn't purposely rain on the parade of Loors?
No, I don't think so. I think he just didn't want to wash out the backside of that right-hander. Oh, Verdone in trouble here as he's on his side. Looks like the safety crew on it immediately, ready to put him back on his tires. Who knows, maybe getting fired back up and into the race. Well, the top two guys are ready to do the battle. Chris Brandt and Brian Deegan, it's on.
Reigning net.
Oh, look at Wick trying to look to the inside of Brandt. And Wick, a super successful desert racer, not able to make that work. He builds his own engines in this truck and in others around the series, including his desert racing motors that have been winning.
Great onboard shot. By the way, career best effort here for Aaron Daugherty, pound around here looking for top 5 effort. Also for Adam Wick, career best effort right there, standing up there in what could end up being a podium finish.
And you see the trucks undulating there in turn number 5 as they go up and over. The ruts are starting to develop that we talked about. Potholes, acceleration holes. So you really got to watch it. And here, another spot as we get into this final turn, number 6. See the loam up on the outside where the roost is coming from. On the inside, more hard pack with ruts as they develop along.
Yeah, that turn you were speaking of as well really falls away into an off camber on the exit side of it. It's pretty scary, man. You better be in the throttle. Keep those tires rotating. There's the battle for the front.
And you see Deegan, he's using what we would say is the fast line around. His spotter's telling him you're clear by 3 to Brandt. Use your own lines, use your track, or it's your track. Not sure the exact wording that they're using inside there, but they're getting quick little bites of information from their spotter as Loors goes to the inside. Not going to be able to make it work as he wedges down the fast line in the middle there. Ampudia was in that fast line, but Loors trying to show him that, hey, I'm here and I'm ready to bump for that position if it takes it.
That kid doesn't rattle too easily, though. As we take a look at Deegan, Chris Brandt picking a different line. And Chris Brandt, a master at running a lower line, and that long left-hander as the white flag comes out. It is game on right now between the top 2 guys in this category. Chris Brandt again taking a look on the inside.
Brandt going to the out, maybe looking to drop inside. Deegan still running the fast line. You can see Brandt there to the inside, but even though he gets close, he has to wedge back just a bit. Deegan gets a little more breathing room.
Chris Brandt running him pretty clean so far. Oh, Brandt looks like he checked up. I'm sorry, Deegan looked like he checked up to save it for a moment.
He caught that edge and had to re-rack it. Brandt had a great run on him. He's going outside in and drag race out of the corner.
This is what it's all about. Brandt up beside Deegan, the last lap. About a half a lap to go. Deegan lets it wash up high, and puts a fender on him.
Didn't look intentional. Looked like he was driving hard into that corner and just drifted up. Now, Brandt to the inside. Oh! Little NASCAR nudge.
Yeah. I think that one was just as unintentional if you thought the last one was unintentional. So there you go. The checkered flag is out, and Chris Brandt steals it in the final turn. Congratulations. Round 4 goes to that man, the number 82 MAV TV back machine.
Might not want to park next to Deegan after that.
Well,
this might be an interesting podium.
And Deegan not very happy. I mean, he was robbed in the very last turn. I guarantee you he's thinking, where's the black flag, man? I need some help here.
Yeah, that's one I'm not going to get into. You know, that I talk about it before, a little fender in the corner, maybe not always fair, but that's up to Tony Vanilla, the officials. We take a look at the Rockstar Energy Drink results board.
Yeah, awesome stuff here. I mean, that's what it's all about. These guys are scrapping hard. This has become quite the rivalry. Here's your E3 Spark Plugs race recap.
And really all we need to know is just this last lap as Brandt tries to go inside of Deegan. That's going to set up turn number 5. Brandt's to the outside. Do you think it's intentional that Deegan drifts out into him?
I do. I think he ran up there, but I think that's what a racer who has the lead should do. He went up there and took the line away. And then right back at him, Chris Brandt. Well, Chris Brandt did what he needed to do.
And at second look there, it actually looks like Deegan turned down to fill up the line. Brandt gives him a little nudge.
I will tell you, if I'm Tony Vanillo, I would take a good hard look at that. I mean, I think there is an opportunity for a black flag there, although we've not heard of anything yet. It looks like the win is going to stand for Chris Brandt. Those two guys are parked side by side. Chris Brandt getting out with that checkered flag. Should be an interesting winner circle. Let's get it down to Kelly, who's in the middle of it all.
Chris Brandt, what a great finish out there for you. Got really hairy in the last lap. Take us through this last turn.
Yeah, I was trying to get up underneath him, and he come down on me a little bit and kind of closed the door on me, and then we got hooked together. We both started aiming for the high turn, and what can I say? You know, I can't thank this Hart and Huntington and BF Goodrich Tires and MAV TV enough. You know, we all been working so hard this weekend, and here we are.
Well, congratulations on the first place win. We're so happy to see you up here.
All right, thank you very much.
Good eye, by the way, Cam. You said it looked like he might have come down a little bit.
Yeah, and that's how Chris Brandt saw it. So I'm sure Deegan has a totally different opinion as we take a look at the MagnaFlow exhaust point standings. Brandt on top of Deegan. Let's go back down to our winner's circle.
You held it strong until the last lap. Take us through that.
Well, all I can say is I guess that's racing, but it was exciting. I went out, did the best I could, held the lead. It is, when you're in the lead, you're setting the pace, so it's a little tougher than you think. And I was out there holding it. Brandt was going strong. They're on the radio saying, hey, he's on the inside. When you're protecting those lines, it makes for slower lap times. And you know what? It came down to the last turn. He bumped me out of the way. There was really nothing I could do. I was on the inside holding my line, and he just pushed me out of the way. So all I say is pay it back. So bring it on.
Well, you heard it here. The rivalry continues. Brian Deegan taking home a second here in Surprise.
Ah, yes, there's the look of payback. Round 5 should be very exciting. You won't want to miss it.